Hey everybody, this is Grim Gary with another Let's Draw. I just tried to record something and I realized I'd not turn on my headset microphone, so this is actually a take two. I'd actually been talking to you guys for about 5 minutes before I go, hey, there's no microphone, little audio thing going beep beep and back and forth on my recording here. So, what we got here, we're going to go back to the basics like I was saying in my last video. We're going back to the prime basics. What we have here is three basic shapes and a bunch of lines. You have a circle, a square, and a triangle. And lines. These four things, these four elements, make up everything you'll find in drawing. No matter how you look at it, you'll find circles in the oddest places. You'll find triangles, squares, everywhere. And, that's how everything is formed. Um, let's see, you can take a rectangle, which is just made up of squares. So we got that. And then let's say you wanted to make a cylinder. A cylinder. Oops. Actually, going to start up here where the cylinder is going to be. A cylinder is basically a rectangle with two circles. This is not going to be even, so it's going to look kind of weird. I'm going to try to even it as much as I can. So now you're starting to see a cylinder form out of these two things. And if you erase these lines, and then these lines, you have a cylinder. Actually, you know what? If you just erase this line, sorry about that. Now you have yourself a cylinder. And of course, me being fancy, I like to put a little bit of shading on things. There you go. That's my shading. But yeah, everything that you can think of can be drawn with these basic shapes. They may be mutated or formed in different ways, um, but everything can be drawn this way. So if I take, let's draw the stick figure. So there you have stick figure, just lines. I've drawn this a few times, I think, in my Let's Draw, the previous 4 episodes. Um, I always like to form the trunk first. It's the trunk of the body. This is the torso. This is the hips. The trunk of the body forms the basis for everything. So when you take the human shape, his knees will be out here. Everything's got to be in proportion. Did you know that there are basically three four proportion areas in the human body? There is the shin to the knee, which would be right here, and this is equal to this. So basically this, this, this. Oh, so yeah, it's three. Sorry. I always get that confused. Plus the head, which is different. But the head is equal to half of one of these. But yeah, all these three are proportionately equal. The shoulders are 3 heads wide. But anyway, so the trunk of the body is a square. The female torso is, you would kind of round the square off. So it kind of pinches at the waist. And oh, my mouse is a little jumpy right now. My computer's lagging again. I've been trying to work on resolving my lag issues. I think it's really coming down to the hard drive. I don't have anything in the background. I mean, right now I'm recording with Camtasia. I have Photoshop here and Skype. You know, and somebody's messaging me on Skype as I'm drawing this. So, but I'm thinking it's coming down to my hard drive. It's a now 3-year-old terabyte hard drive. It's a Western Digital, I believe, but it's one of the first terabyte hard drives to come out. So yeah, the female would come out like that, and the legs are cylinders. And as I demonstrated, this is a cylinder, but with legs, you're gonna pinch the cylinder. It's gonna come out to more of a cone shape. So you're gonna do that. And you'd have another cylinder down here. And you would the arm. Remember, I think I said in the previous ones, the arm comes down to about middle of the waist, and your hands come down to about the center of your thigh there. So you would basically, that's how this is formed. She's turned a little sideways, kind of a little off kilter. Also, she'd be off balance, and the head is kind of an egg shape with a flat bottom. The neck is another cylinder. And you would connect it with some lines to make the shoulders. And she has flowy hair. I am so pretty. I'm a Barbie girl and a Barbie. And I know you don't want to hear me sing, so I won't do that. So one thing when figure drawing is gravity. You want to make sure that from the pit, for the bottom of the neck to the bottom of at least one of the heels. It doesn't really matter which one, but if there's a straight line, once again I'm lagging. Oh, I hate this. I cannot wait till the time I can get a new computer, because I need to really make more of these videos. I really want to make a whole bunch of these videos. But from the pit of the neck to an ankle. And it's not something you have to be concerned about right now. We're with basics. So that seems about right. So should be balanced, but this leg would probably come out to here. If I just drew that with the mouse. This leg would actually come out here. So, all right. Now I know some of you had wanted to learn how to draw hands. The basic hand is a square. If we were looking at the top of your hand, you'll see it's very much a square. I mean, it doesn't get much more basic than that. The wrist would be out here. I'm looking down at my hand right now, and the way I'm looking at my hand is bent off a little bit this way. My pinky is right here. My thumb starts here. So, from the bottom of the square where the wrist is where your thumb begins. Now, the thumb is a series of cylinders. And this actually connects into here. You're not going to see this area right here. This gets basically erased. So if you look at the top of your hand, and you can go out, you can take another cylinder. It's going to be a cylinder. It's actually best to draw this little skip in the action there. Sorry, I'd received a call from the Minecraft WB crew in the middle of recording, and since I stopped recording, I've gotten a thunderstorm. So we'll try to press on. Hopefully I'll make it through this video. So yes, we were drawing the thumb. Basically, it's, like I was saying, it's cylinders. Each finger has 3 joints. And the thumb kind of extends into your palm, almost halfway across it. I'm getting some nice thunder around here. I hope I make it. So, you can also, for simplicity's sake, make each section of the thumb just a square, and that'll work. And if you look at your thumb, just relax the hand, you'll see that the index finger comes straight off. I'm looking at the top of my hand. And you can take your index finger, because your index finger and your ring finger are almost the same length. Usually the ring finger is a little bit longer. So you can just swipe this across here. And separate out your four fingers. The middle finger is, of course, the longest. The ring finger is the second longest. The index finger is the third longest. And the pinky is a lot shorter than all the other fingers. And each one, and here's going to be your knuckles. Basically, those are circles, but you don't necessarily draw the circle there because it'll look weird. Um, and they have 3 joints apiece. The joints are all arranged like they are in the height here, so they're gonna vary from finger to finger. In my hand, my index finger and ring finger primary knuckle is just about the same spot, and they form like a circle here around the knuckle where all the wrinkles start forming. And you'll have various little landmarks. Good lightning. Various little landmarks there, and then the small knuckle. These knuckles here are the same length. Or these joints here are the same length, and the tips of your knuckles, the third joint, is 1/2 of the rest of these. And if you want, basically these are kind of peanut shaped, the bones, when you get into it. When you're studying life drawing like this, you do kind of learn. I'm terrible at the names, but I know how they're shaped. I've drawn them plenty of times. But yeah, the knuckle bones are all kind of peanut shaped, with the knuckle towards the palm is a little bit wider than the knuckle going into the other knuckle. And these knuckles are kind of pointed. And then you'd have a fingernail. Your fingernail does not stretch across the whole thing. It doesn't even reach the tip. Look at if you have clipped nails, you notice that your the fingertips come out underneath your fingernail. It's really a matter of observation when you're drawing anything. Just look at what you're drawing, and you'll see how things are formed. I could take a pair of sunglasses that I have here on the desk. I could draw 2 circles, kind of ovalish. And you can add the various elements to them. There's a square in between them. There is a square on the sides, and that's basically forms the grips, the centerpiece. And then from here, you would normally just kind of sketch this out first, and you'd find the shape of the actual item. Both these come down to the same area, and you always use check lines for everything. If something comes down at the same point, like these sunglasses are very symmetrical, and both of the bottoms come down at the same point. One can come down here, that would be ridiculous. So basically you do a little check line, and the same with the top. In fact, the top portion follows the frame all the way across. You may have something like a little dip right here in the nose bridge, and this is a little bit curved because our noses are curved. You just kind of work it out. For the sides, again, you would just grid this off, and you'll see that it's forming a rectangle. 2 squares, 2 check lines, and you just kind of check to see if you're getting the same negative space on either side. Again, this would be sketched. It wouldn't be quite as dark as what I'm drawing here on the screen. And there's a shoddy pair of sunglasses. Ooh, that was a nice little lightning strike I just got. Thankfully, everything's still on so far. But New England weather passes fast. Let's say you wanted to draw a sword. start with the pommel. Or is that the pommel? Yeah, that's the pommel. And then the hilt is a rectangle. The cross guard is another rectangle. The blade, again, is a rectangle. And then it's tipped off with a triangle. So basically we have all three shapes and some lines in there. So that's how you would form a sword. And then you would take something like this and erase the lines you don't need. I mean, when you're sketching something, and this is all sketch work here, one of these lines is going to be right. If you just kind of lay it out, lay it down, and just mold it into shape. Don't think you're going to get it right the first time. Nobody really gets it right on the first time. You know, it takes time, a little patience, and I keep saying that. It's all about patience. So you just kind of mold things into shape. You can even add little details and whatnot to the sword. So let's say we wanted a little wing-a-ding. And we add it over here. My computer's a little lagged again. I'm so sick of that. And we kind of round off the hilt. Add a little gemstone in the middle or something. You got a pretty good sword there. It's happy. Maybe good for like Link to use or something, so you could throw at people. Well, that's a good subject. Is the boomerang. Boomerang is an odd shape. It's kind of curvy, but overall, when you're looking at the top of it, it is a rectangle. It fits. You could fit anything into a rectangle. You could even fit a circle into a rectangle. I know. You're insane. That's what you're saying. You can't fit the round peg into the square hole, but you can. But the boomerang, you would start dividing off areas. Like here's going to be the two ends. And the boomerang, come around, make sure that the center of the curve is here. Everything is all about check marks. You bring this up around. You come back down the same way. So everything's even. And again, you just kind of flesh it out, kind of mold it into the lines. And you're going to go over later. You're either going to go over in like a darker pen or a pencil. And you're going to erase your little sketch lines. Yeah, it looks like a hot dog or something. But that's basically what you're getting out here. You fit it into a rectangle. In fact, if I did this better, this would have came up here actually. So there you go. That's my ad hoc boomerang. And that's another thing is you want to look at a lot of reference pictures before you start drawing anything. Don't just start drawing something out of your imagination. You're not going to get it quite right. Like this boomerang here, that probably looks nothing like a boomerang. What I would do is I'd go on Google or Yahoo or even DeviantArt, type in boomerang. And eventually I'm going to find a picture of a boomerang. And then I can look at it and start breaking down the elements of what I'm looking at and get the shapes I need. Like I could take a dog. If I was looking at a dog picture, I could say, well, his head is kind of this shape. He's got his muzzle is up here, and it's a square. Some dogs have very square nose areas. They have usually a little chin coming out, and it's just, and you're looking at it, and it's like rectangles and stuff like that. Even his eyes start as rectangles, and you just kind of mold them in, round them out on the sides, and it starts looking like this looks like a boxer or something. Marmaduke was a mastiff. I don't know what he was. But yeah, or maybe it's Scooby-Doo, a Great Dane. So we put little Scooby-Doo spots on them. There we go. Scooby-Doo. Roiks! Ghosts! See, and then there's a ghost. A ghost for Scooby-Doo to actually be afraid of. That one's real, man. Get off the Scooby snacks. And this, what I'm doing here, and see, you'd break down the leg. It's still a rectangle, but I'm rounding it out. Rectangle. His feet. Rectangle. Actually, it's a trapezoid, but a trapezoid. It's all about the shapes. His neck, cylinder, circle, rectangle, and so on and so forth. Dinosaur, dragon. Break it down. Rectangle. Rectangle for the mouth. He's got a horn. It's a triangle. Another horn. It's a triangle. His neck is a series of cylinders kind of strung together with a curved line. And it's just really about breaking it down into these four elements: circle, square, triangle, and lines. And of course, lines make up the circle, the square, and the triangle. And in the order of complexity, you go from line to circle to triangle to square. A square is the most complex item, but yet everything fits into it. You can even take your triangle, divide it in half, divide it in a quarter, divide it into 6, divide it into 8, and it's still triangles. You could fit a circle inside of a square. All objects fit into a square, and lines fit into a square. So yeah, dragon, series of cylinders, which are rectangles with two rounded ends. Just get used to drawing cylinders. So, and then that will kind of widen out for his body. Start the wings, which are going to be elongated rectangles, and form them into cylinders. Cylinder. Cylinder. Little claw there is a triangle cylinder, a cone. And you just connect a line to the various portions of it, and you get a wingaling. So he's a very happy dragon. He's got a cylinder, circle, circle, cylinder, rectangle, whatever you want to call it. And he got his feet. So he's taking a poop or something. I don't know what he's doing. He's happy. He's got a treasure hoard. There's Bilbo Baggins, and he's just found a sword or something. Actually, who gave him the sword? I don't know. But it glows with orcs. Rah! So yeah, this is my world. This is what I do when I'm bored. I'll just draw random things, and you have some grass, a tree over here. And it really looks like a kid's drawing when you first start it. It's called the rope method of drawing a tree. You can also just break it down into cylinders, which come out to be cones because trees always taper off as they go further and further up in branches. In fact, I think the ratio from main branch to secondary branch is 1/6. So any branches that connect to another branch are going to be 1/6 smaller than the branch before it. Alright, well that's all the time we have. That is the basics. Breaking down objects into circles, squares, triangles, lines. And once again, square being the most complex object, everything fits into it. Thank you, and you all have a good one now. Take care.